Hi, welcome to Black Eagle Speaks. This is Hema Chandran called Hema. In our previous episodes, we've been talking about the impact of Indian economy and its current status. In this current juncture, we would like to talk about various industries which contribute to the Indian economy. Today we have with us Mr. Ananth Ramakrishnan, CEO and Principal Officer of Ensign Brokerage Private Limited. Mr. Ananth Ramakrishnan comes with around 2 decades plus of experience in the insurance industry. Welcome Ananth to Black Eagle Speaks, and it's great pleasure to have you talk about the insurance industry and its impact to Indian economy and the future of insurance industry and its impact in India.
Thank you, Hema.
Your view.
Thank you, Hema, for having me in your show, and it's really a very good opportunity for me to talk about the various exciting phases the industry is going through. So, I happened to see your previous video and it was very good. And in continuation with that, I wanted to add more points about the economic growth and the contribution of the industry, insurance industry, in particular to this growth phase of the country. See, India as a country is in an exciting phase of economic growth, and this phase of growth is expected to be for a long term. Basically, for one reason, the growth is not due to a contribution from one odd sector, but an inclusive growth across all sectors.
Correct.
Namely, the manufacturing, agriculture, services. You name a sector that everything is growing. Insurance industry in India has experienced an immense growth in the recent years, and India today is ranked the 5th largest in terms of life insurance market across the world, and growing at a very healthy pace. And the growth is fueled by favorable government policies like rising income, increasing financial awareness across the middle class people. These are few things. And in fact, I just want to cite a few figures about how the market is growing and what are the prospects going forward. Life insurance market, from almost 2.78 lakh crores in 2021 has grown to somewhere around 3.15 lakh crores.
Okay.
And this year, LIC or the entire life insurance industry is putting up a fascinating growth numbers. And we expect the life insurance market alone to cross almost 4,20,000 crores this year.
Oh, that's great.
And particularly in general insurance, where the non-life part of the business is being covered. So from roughly almost 2 lakh crores, it went to 2.2 lakh crores last year, and this year we expect that to cross somewhere around 2.6 to 2.7 crores.
Okay.
So growing at the rate of almost 17% on general insurance space and almost close to 34-35% on the life insurance space. So this gives a tremendous impetus to the overall industry, and the industry in particular, we expect the industry to grow over almost 20 to 23% for this year. And the good part is there are a lot of changes which is happening in the market today, and the regulator is very, very, very open in terms of bringing a lot of reforms into the industry, and the government and the regulator are working hand to hand in terms of increasing the penetration of insurance in India. Say from almost 3% of penetration in life insurance market and somewhere around little over 1% penetration in general insurance. Whereas the global insurance penetration level of the developed nations is somewhere around 6%. So the IRDA, the regulator of insurance market, is focusing more on penetration, and they have started working very closely with the insurers to ensure that the penetration happens. And this also comes with a lot of reforms in terms of product filing, bringing in new products for the requirements of the market. A lot of exciting things happen across the industry. So you can't ask for a better phase of growth in this industry, and in particular overall Indian economy.
Okay. Being a broker, you represent life insurance, general insurance and health insurance of all the companies. Now can you tell me approximately how many life insurance companies, how many general insurance companies and how many health insurance companies are there right now in India?
See, in total there are almost 58 insurance companies, out of which somewhere around 24 life insurance companies are there, almost 34 general insurance companies are there, including specialized companies like the agricultural insurance company or the export credit guarantee corporation, ECGC, sort of. And you have a few standalone health insurance companies, somewhere around 6 companies are there in the market today. So who are all working closer in terms of achieving the regulator's vision of achieving the penetration of insurance into the larger population of India. And there are more companies which are there in the market, like there are more companies who apply for the license, and the regulator are working closely in terms of the license are offered at the fastest pace possible. So you can expect much more companies in the market to come. So which will add to more reach to people, and that will eventually result in more penetration in the
Well, recently I was reading an article. There's approximately around 19 more companies are expected to get the license in India. Can you throw some light on that?
Yeah, there are companies, almost, you're right, like almost 19 companies have already applied, and IRDA is on process of approving the licenses of these companies. And more importantly, IRDA, the regulator is also working on, too early to say about it, there are a few working groups, committees are being formed, and I think like they are just trying to bring in more ease of doing business in this industry by moderating the capital requirements, like by allowing newer products, innovative products to hit the market. A lot of things are happening here. Like we'll be seeing a lot of developments, and much more good news are going to hit the market. So we're all waiting for that.
Okay. The reason why I wanted to really take up the insurance industry in the beginning, in my views on the finance industry, was like, insurance privatization took place in 2000, after which the impact or the awareness of be it life insurance or general insurance or health insurance has been encouragingly better in India. Prior to 2000, it was taken for obligation or tax purpose. Today, people go out and take either a life insurance or a general insurance or a health insurance for their necessity, understanding the value and the requirement of insurance industry. Now, saying that, now what do you think the insurance industry's impact on GDP?
See, I take your point. Ever since privatization, the market, the reach has gone better. With all due respects to the public sector companies like the Life Insurance Corporation or the four major public sector companies in general insurance. See, they have been doing a wonderful job in terms of taking insurance to the masses. But one thing is we all need to know, and is that increased competition promotes increased reach to the customers.
Correct.
The ease of approaching or buying an insurance policy has got much more simpler. So obviously the government is also pushing for that competitive edge so that the consumer benefits at the end of the day. So when more companies offer more product solutions in the market, obviously you have to be more competitive so that you strive and you sustain in the market, so that you reach the masses and you make a better society for the living. So this is one. And when we talk about insurance as an industry's contribution to the GDP, it's just like we have to look to understand what GDP is all about and how any industry contributes to the growth of the GDP. Okay? So, insurance is one of the most important factors which provides financial stability to the country or the economy. So, in that way, it itself is a big assurance to any corporates or any business person. And GDP is nothing but the gross domestic production of the country, which is the total value of goods or services which is being produced in a country in one country.
Correct.
That's one. And there are more ways of a country to calculate their GDP. So one is the income approach, the other one is an expenditure approach, the other one is an output or a production approach. So, So we talked about the basic approaches, and India as a country follows the expenditure approach of calculating the GDP. When we talk about GDP, there are different types of GDP, like what is the nominal GDP, the real GDP, the actual GDP, and the potential GDP. When we talk about nominal GDP, what does it mean? It means the total value of all goods and services produced at current market prices.
Yeah.
See, the market prices are fluctuating, it's volatile, it depends on various other factors like the currency value, all these things. And so it has some sort of a volatility or a fluctuation when you calculate that. This includes all the changes in the market prices during the current year due to the fluctuations and also due to inflations or deflation a country is experiencing. The real GDP is the sum of all goods and services which a country produces at a constant price. So, we arrive at some constant value for the currency or all the economic conditions, and the prices used to determine the GDP or the gross domestic product are based on certain base year assumptions. Like most of the common thing is the previous year's assumption we used to take it. This provides more accurate in terms of this thing. Like the real GDP is even more accurate than a nominal GDP. That's why, like whenever the government announces a nominal GDP and the real GDP, there might be some fluctuations. This is mainly because the inflation is adjusted.
Good.
And the actual GDP is like it's the real-time measurement of all the outputs at any specific interval or any specific time range. Got it? And the potential GDP is the ideal economic condition, assuming with 100% employment to all employees and with a steady currency or stable product prices. All these things constitute the potential GDP of a country. So now talking about like how insurance as an industry contribute to the GDP of any country. See, we saw GDP is gross domestic production. So production needs to have a meaningful business activity.
Correct.
Okay. The output of any business activity is a production. Okay. So in this case, like when we talk about the expenditure approach of GDP calculation, what happens is that the formula is expenditure approach of GDP is equal to the private investment to private consumption. That is the sum total of it. Private investment, private consumption, government investment, and government spending, plus the net exports. Like that is the, what the country exports and what the country imports. That the export minus import is the net exports. So all this sum total calculate gives the GDP value. So when we talk about private investment, when we talk about private consumption or the government investment, government spending, so everything like involves some sort of an economic value. So everything is an output of a business activity which is run by the private enterprises or the public sector companies and all these things. And we all know that any business activity need to have a very steady cash flow.
Correct.
On a normal situation, the business will be capable enough to generate its own cash flow. But what happens if in case of some unforeseen situations? And which generation has more qualification to talk about, but for our generation? Because we had a live example, we all gone through the COVID situation.
Perfect.
So, in a span of almost 9 months, there was almost no business activity going on.
Yes.
So, why did we say that a company's economy had fallen because of COVID? Because there was no business activity, there was no production. So, obviously, the GDP of any country is expected to go down. So, it all depends on how soon you are put back to normalcy, how soon you can come back to your normal routine process so that your business goes as usual and the production increases, the GDP, it contributes to the GDP or the growth of the country. Okay? So, insurance plays a pivotal role in putting back any individual or a business back into its normal position at the earliest. Basically, insurance is a hedged product.
Correct.
Right? Like in case of any unforeseen situations, I have somebody whom I can go and bank on. So, this is ideal for this. The second thing is, so one is like I take an insurance policy and I know that in case of any unforeseen situation, this policy or this insurance will help me to come back to normal situation. The second thing is, what is insurance? Like it's a mechanism where a large number of people come together and to support a very few unfortunate people who suffer losses. The purpose of insurance or the insurance company gives a promise that in case of such situation, I'll support you financially or support your financial loss. And what is the role of an insured in this? They have to pay a premium to keep the contract right. Okay? So in such situation, the insurance company collects a premium from the insured. And what do they do with that insurance? Insurance premiums what they collect. So one end they pay off the claims for the losses what the insured or the people who suffer as per the policy conditions. The balance premium, every insurance company will make an investment. See, there are two types of insurance policies. One is pure risk policies, the other one is a participating policies, or which will give you a maturity benefit also. Okay? So, such investments, they also need to generate returns out of that, and they invest in various bonds and government securities, all these things like as per IRDS regulations where they can invest on these funds too.
Yeah.
So when insurance companies invest these money in bonds or into government securities, so what happens so there are infrastructure bonds. Probably say company X insurance company invest in that bonds. And what will that infrastructure bond do that for? So they support infrastructure activities. So government will lay roads, will create railway links, create airports, all this infrastructure creation the government will be doing on that using those funds. So obviously when the infrastructure develops, the society develops in and around that area. And there is a business activity which gets prospered in that area. And that is how the economy also grows up. The first the primary source of business activity is a proper infrastructure. So once the infrastructure develops, automatically there will be some amount of business activity in and around that side, and probably that helps the economy to grow in even rural pockets. And this is the real contribution of insurance to the GDP.
That's a fantastic insights on the GDP and how the insurance industry is contributing to the development of the country. Now, recently I was also reading an article wherein the IRA is planning to give a target to all the insurance companies to, increase their premium in the next 5 years, which is I think it's around 5x to 10x kind of growth which they are looking at. Now, when I read that, two things came up in my mind. One, yes, the GST. Now, the GST will be also phenomenally big enough for the country to use it for various other infrastructure. Then the second one, the premium which has been collected by the insurance companies invested on the government bonds, which again translates into the development of the country. So, I look at the insurance industry when it is growing at a massive speed, it is also going to uplift the country in terms of infrastructure and other related developments. Once this has been developed, naturally our production or our various industries will also grow, which contributes to the betterment of the citizens of the country, right? So that's a good insight, Mr. Anand.
Yeah, see, as I said, the regulator nowadays is working very closely with all these people. We could have never asked for anything more. The regulator working very closely with the insurance companies, trying to address their problems, understand what their issues are, and solving every small issue so that the ease of doing business for the insurers are growing fast, so that they are free from all these regulatory challenges and concentrate more on in terms of penetrating to masses and also increase the per capita premium of the insurance industry. So this is one. As you rightly said, the regulator had a couple of meetings with insurance companies and they have given targets, not on 5x growth or 10x growth, it's just extra related figures. The regulator is more concerned about increasing the penetration. Obviously, it is understood when the insurance penetration increases and the per capita premium increases, obviously it's going to result in higher premiums. So in insurance, you can never target about the premium size and
Sorry.
So in case if you are my prospect, I come and talk to you, I will never pitch HEMA. From HEMA, I will take 2 lakhs of premium or 50,000.
You're right.
So my concern is to understand what your exact need and offer you the best possible solution to your problem. So I do a fact finding analysis, I do a need analysis. Through a human life value, I will arrive what is the sum which you do. So that is how it goes. So one is the penetration, the other one is the per capita premium. So per capita premium increases along with the, the rising of income of middle class society in India. So obviously, if my salary increases, my insurance coverage also has to increase. So it all depends on the lifestyle management of some people. Despite me not there, my family should continue this. So that is how it is, and that's what I said. We are in an exciting phase where the government, the ministry, the regulator, the insurance companies are all working in tandem, so that everybody are in the same page and having the same goal. So that's too good for the economy.
Well, I think you have very clearly mentioned how insurance industry is going to help any country's economy. Now, the insights which has been given by you, it's been very encouraging. Now, Mr. Anant Ramakrishnan, thank you very much for giving us the insights on the insurance industry and its impact on Indian economy. We will be continuing the next volume in terms of what is insurance, the evolution of insurance, and its various features in the insurance industry. Thank you very much. Please subscribe, like it, and share. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Anant.
Thanks, man.